There's seven of them.
7 adventurers that are traveling through time.
That's right, and hence the name. So the maker is what the animals all call God, is the maker. And he started developing this team. First there were 2, then there were 4, and by the 3rd book there's 7 of them, and they're known as the Order of the Seven. And yes, they all have different abilities, so kids can relate to different personalities, whether it's, Maximin Braveheart the Bruce, who's a Scottish Terrier, who's very bold and brave, or Lisette Briante, who's a French cat who's very intelligent, or Al, who likes to eat a lot, not the sharpest tool in the shed, Irish cat, but comes up with these brilliant, deep insights and very big-hearted. So, so the animals make history come alive. And they act as Bible commentators, if you will, along the way, and tour guides through history to explain what's going on to the reader.
I'm feeling there's a little Fellowship of the Ring influence going on here.
Oh,
is
yes.
that
Absolutely.
correct?
It's very Narnia-ish. It's very
Tolkien-esque?
Fellowship like that. Yes, it is. And I will be writing them after I write The American Revolution. I'll be doing C.S. Lewis and Tolkien and World War II will be the focus of that series. Mm-hmm.
So the storm, the fish, the vine.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of historical events are you concentrating on here?
The Storm, the Fish, and the Vine is 2 stories in one. It's the story of Jonah told within the story of John Newton writing Amazing Grace.
Okay.
And I'm actually sliding it in as an interlude book in the middle of the American Revolution series, because while all of this big events were happening here in America, over in England, John Newton was writing Amazing Grace, and all of that was beginning to go. So Gilliman is the team leader of the animals, and he is essentially in this book calling the animals together for a briefing to say, okay, while y'all been doing all this other stuff, I got to get you caught up to speed on this other side mission that we're working on. And so it's the telling of this incredible story of John Newton. Oh my goodness, next to Jesus and Paul, I have to say, it's the most remarkable human story I have ever heard. And talk about from a slave ship captain to a vicar to the author of Amazing Grace is you will never understand or see grace again the same after this.
Wow. And so really thinking back on that previous book, now I see,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you truly, you're the importance of John Newton. In fact, his testimony is incredible. What he's given to us as far as the song Amazing Grace. So what's the parallel between John Newton and Jonah the prophet?
Jonah and John Newton both ran from God, and God got a hold of both of them in the middle of a storm. Of course, we know Jonah runs from God, and God sends a storm and a big fish to come get him. And the animals relive that time, because Gilliman's saying there's some parallels here. John Newton was raised to love Jesus till he's about 7 or 8 and his mom dies. And then you're going to see how this beautiful child starts making bad decisions. How do you go from a Jesus-loving kid to an atheist? Well, you're going to see that with John Newton until the point where he enters the slave trade. He's a slave himself for over a year in Africa, and he's rescued, and then he becomes a slave ship captain. But God got a hold of him in a storm and brought him back to his childhood faith. And it took several years even after that, but then God calls him to be a vicar. And he started writing hymns to go with his sermons to help the simple people of Olney understand these truths in a way that they could relate to. And then God even used his horrible backstory of being a slave trader to end the slave trade. And so, it really is grace. Grace isn't called amazing for nothing, and you'll never see this story again the same way. And by the way, that was not the title of it. When Newton wrote it, it was called Faith's Review and Expectation.
Wow.
So
everybody
of course,
stand and turn into page 100.
Right, and so part of the animal's mission is needs a better title than that, So, anyway, but that will come later. Yes.